All right, so hey everyone, welcome back to the deep dive. And today we're diving into something a little different.
Yeah, a little less sunshine and rainbows, I'd say.
Definitely more like a strong shot of espresso,
Yeah, that better.
Kind of jolting maybe.
Yeah.
And definitely designed to get you thinking differently about, you know.
About how we perform and create.
Yeah, exactly. Like how we make an impact sometimes when we're communicating or trying to, maybe you're someone who's getting ready for a presentation or
wrestling with a creative block.
yeah, exactly. Or maybe you're just fascinated by like the raw, unfiltered side of being creative.
Right? Like, what does it really take?
Yeah. So whatever brought you here, get ready. Because
Yeah.
we're going to poke at some of those comfortable assumptions.
Yeah, we're going to challenge some of those ideas. And we've been digging into this really interesting, forceful piece of writing, actually.
Yeah.
By Stephen Pinkwart. It's called Blood Tastes Like Postponement.
Okay.
And it's short, but he's got some very strong opinions.
Right.
And he doesn't hold back.
Yeah, he's got a very vivid way of writing.
Yes, definitely.
That might leave you feeling a little unsettled afterward.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
So in this deep dive, we really want to unpack what Pinkwart is getting at.
Yeah.
We're going to look at this idea of like waiting to feel ready before you do something.
The myth of readiness.
Yeah, exactly. And why that might actually be holding you back. We're also going to look at like the power that comes from showing your vulnerability.
Yes, even when it feels like everything's falling apart.
Yeah, like your carefully constructed image just crumbling.
Right.
And then we'll get into his, shall we say, unique?
Interesting.
Yeah, his interesting suppression technique for grabbing an audience's attention.
For really getting to them on a deeper level.
Yeah, maybe even grabbing them by the subconscious jugular or something.
Potentially.
So buckle up, folks. This one's going to be interesting.
Let's dive right in with this idea of readiness. Pinkwart opens with a very striking image.
Oh, yeah. It's almost absurd.
Almost absurd, right? He describes someone passed out in iced tea, surrounded by their dreams.
And wearing a Live, Laugh, Love t-shirt.
Oh, yeah. The irony is almost painful.
What struck you most about that opening scene?
You know what? It's that instant feeling of recognition, almost like shame, almost.
Ugh.
Like, how often are we in that same position? We're holding on to our dreams.
Convinced we could do it.
We're convinced we have all this potential.
Yeah.
But we're stuck.
Completely stuck.
Yeah. Paralyzed by this fear that we won't be good enough.
Yeah. And that Live, Laugh, Love shirt, it's like a giant sarcastic joke, isn't it?
It totally is. It's like the universe is making fun of us for not taking action.
Exactly, for just sitting there in the iced tea.
Yep.
So then he goes on and says that he feels like a junkie on their first cold withdrawal before going on stage.
Wow.
I mean, that comparison.
That's raw.
It is so raw and honest.
Yeah, he's not pretending to be this confident performer.
No, not at all.
He's putting his vulnerability right out there.
Like he's completely exposed.
Yeah. Feeling totally unprepared, and he just lays it all out.
And then he hits us with this line.
Had uppercut.
He looks at the iced tea person and says, "You lost. And do you know why? Because you thought you had to be ready before you started."
He's brutal.
It is so brutal. It's almost dismissive. Like he doesn't even care.
Yeah, but think about it, though. Have you ever put something off waiting for the right moment?
Oh, all the time.
A conversation.
Like instantly. Yeah.
Waiting for that perfect time.
Yeah.
But what if starting, even if it's messy, is what actually gets you ready?
Yeah. I mean, you're never going to feel 100% ready, are you?
No, you're not. It's like you have to jump in and learn as you go.
Yeah.
And the real growth happens in the doing, not in the thinking about it.
That's such a good point. And then he adds this really funny, but kind of depressing detail about the audience.
Oh, yeah. What was it? 10 people with the charisma of a toaster?
Yes, exactly. 10 people with the charisma of a toaster. Like, can you imagine?
But even with that, he still sees them as his purgatory.
Unnecessary evil.
Yeah. Like, they're not exciting, but he needs them as a testing ground.
Yeah. It's like he's saying that even if you bomb in front of a group of people who are basically appliances,
Right.
you're still gaining something from it. You don't need a huge cheering crowd to get started.
Nope. Just find your purgatory wherever it may be.
So he drags himself on stage feeling like warmed over garbage, facing this audience that's probably going to put him to sleep.
Right.
What happens next?
So he starts off with this line, "I could talk about the weather, but at least the weather never cheated on me."
Wow. Okay, so we go from feeling sorry for him to,
Complete shift in tone.
yeah, like a punch in the gut.
Right. You're expecting some deep artistic statement.
And then bam, personal pain.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, and the reactions he describes.
Oh, they're perfect.
Two people laugh and then someone spits in their beer.
I mean, it's messy. It's unfiltered.
It's real. And Pinkwart says he tasted blood, and I liked it. What do you think he meant by that?
I think that's a big moment for him.
Yeah.
He realized he got a reaction.
He broke through the apathy.
He touched a nerve.
Even if it was a negative one.
Yeah, exactly. And in that moment of discomfort, he finds validation.
Like he made an impact.
It's strange, right?
It is kind of messed up.
But it's like he realizes that to really connect with people, it's not always going to be comfortable or nice.
Yeah, sometimes you got to shake things up a bit.
Yeah, cause a little chaos, maybe.
Okay, so let's talk about Grover now.
Yes. Not the Sesame Street one, thankfully.
Right, thank goodness for that.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about this other Grover guy.
This is Tim Grover. He's a performance coach who's known for being super direct.
Like brutally honest.
Yeah. Pinkwart describes him as someone who wields razor blades made of truth.
Oof. That sounds intense.
Is that Grover's all about taking action, no excuses, no feeling sorry for yourself.
Pinkwart shared some pretty hardcore quotes from him, too.
Oh, yeah, like what?
Like, winning isn't a goal, it's a character flaw. That's not exactly something you'd see on a motivational poster.
No, definitely not. What's the message there, do you think?
I think he's saying that wanting to be the best isn't something you can just turn on or off. It's part of who you are.
It's always there driving you.
Yeah, you're never satisfied with anything less than your absolute best.
And then there's the story about Kobe Bryant.
Oh my gosh, that one was rough.
What was it?
He told Kobe, "You're crying. Cry faster. Practice is waiting."
Wow. That's so cold.
Yeah, no time for emotions. Just get back to work.
Exactly. And then Grover's assessment of Pinkwart.
Equally blunt.
Burnt but useless.
Ouch!
I know, right? And then he gives him this ultimatum, cry or get up. Both take the same time, but only one gets you respect.
There's the philosophy in a nutshell.
Action, even if it's not perfect, is better than doing nothing.
Exactly. Wallowing gets you nowhere.
So Pinkwart gets up, even though his knees feel like Angela Merkel's spine after a 14-hour flight.
I love that description.
It's so vivid, right? So he pushes through the pain, both physical and emotional, and he takes action.
And that leads us to his suppression technique.
Which sounds kind of shady. A little manipulative, maybe.
Break it down for us. What is this technique?
Okay, so Pinkwart says it's about talking about nothing but showing everything. Yeah. He says it's like emotional nailing them to a wall in reverse.
What does that even mean?
I think it's about using psychology.
Okay.
Instead of saying how you feel directly, you're planting these little seeds.
Seeds of what?
Of emotions, memories, anxieties, things like that.
So you bypass people's defenses?
Exactly. You're sneaking in through the back door.
So you're saying, like, instead of telling a sad story, you might talk about something ordinary?
Yeah, but in a way that triggers those same feelings in the listener.
Like subliminally?
Right, without them even realizing it.
Okay, I'm starting to get it.
And Pinkwart, he makes it very clear. No fuzzy rhymes allowed. This ain't a cuddle corner. This is five-legged emotional blackmail wearing a poetry badge.
Okay, so we're not being nice here. We're being dangerous.
Exactly.
All right, so how does this work in practice? What are some of his examples?
Okay, so one example he gives is, I love vacuum cleaners. They suck everything up, never say a word, and in the end, all that's left is a bag full of crap. Like my ex.
Okay, so on the surface, it's just about a vacuum cleaner.
Right.
But then he throws in that punchline about his ex.
And suddenly it's not so simple anymore.
Yeah, you get this feeling of bitterness and heartbreak.
It's the unexpected twist that makes it hit hard.
Okay, that makes sense. What about another example?
He also talks about cold pizza. I only eat pizza cold now because it never asked if I was warm enough for this relationship.
Again, it starts with something ordinary food.
But there's this underlying message of feeling neglected and unloved.
And he doesn't come right out and say it.
No, it's implied through the image of the cold pizza.
Okay, so it's about making the audience feel those emotions without directly telling them.
Exactly.
What's another example?
Oh, he has one about New Year's Eve.
Oh, okay. What is it?
He says, I hate New Year's Eve. Not because of the fireworks. Because of those silent minutes between 0.01 and 0.02 when she always packed her things. So silent even the rockets felt awkward.
Wow, that one is really sad.
It is. He takes this happy occasion, New Year's Eve,
yeah,
and turns it into a moment of heartbreak and loss.
The silence becomes so heavy.
Yeah, it's like you can feel the relationship falling apart.
So he's saying that instead of directly talking about your own pain,
you find these little anchors that connect to the audience's own experiences.
Yeah, their own hidden wounds and traumas.
He says you could say spaghetti, and they hear childhood trauma.
Or dog.
Yeah.
And the gym bro in the third row is crying because he just realized his poodle treated him better than his mom.
It's about bypassing their conscious mind and hitting them right in the feels.
So it's like emotional manipulation.
Yeah, you could say that.
But Pinkwart argues that it's also a way to create a deeper connection.
Because you're tapping into these universal human experiences.
The things we've all felt, like loss and disappointment.
Exactly.
So after this emotionally charged performance, where does Pinkwart end up?
He ends up in a pretty grimy place.
Yeah.
A broken down club toilet.
Lovely.
And there's graffiti on the wall that says, "Poetry is the mother of lies."
That's fitting.
And what does Pinkwart do? He laughs.
He laughs. Why?
Because he realizes he did it. He got to them.
He got a reaction.
He made them uncomfortable. He stripped them of their damn comfort zones.
And he did it all with a poem about jam jars and moldy promises.
Exactly. The contrast is what makes it so powerful.
The raw emotions against the backdrop of this disgusting bathroom.
He describes his work as a word machine gun and a literary shotgun for stages, hearts, and broken childhoods.
It's like he's not just trying to entertain, he's trying to shake people awake.
Yeah, make them confront uncomfortable truths about themselves.
And all of this leads him to write his book, The Poetry Master.
Yes, where he lays out all his secrets.
And he makes some pretty bold promises in this book.
Like what?
Like, he says it will teach you how to use suppression to make more people cry than an onion in a strip club.
That's a strong image.
It is. It's attention-grabbing, and it emphasizes how powerful his technique can be.
You're not just getting a few sniffles, you're getting full-on tears.
He also promises to show you how to build stories that hit like LSD in a monastery.
Whoa. Okay, that one's a trip.
I know, right? Like, imagine the most intense experience ever.
And then put it in the most peaceful setting.
It's about creating stories that really make you think and feel things deeply.
Stories that stay with you long after you've heard them.
And then there's this one, how to craft a bridge between punchline pain and sadism and then burn it down.
Okay, now that's just twisted.
It is, but I kind of love it. It's like he's saying you have to embrace the darkness.
Don't shy away from the pain.
Yeah, use it to create something powerful and honest.
And my personal favorite, how to gently pet your audience and then metaphorically run them over.
Oh, that is a good one. That's classic Pinkwart.
Lull them into a false sense of security and then bam, hit them with the emotional truth.
It's the perfect summary of his whole approach.
And there's a quote from a reader that really sums up the book. This book broke my heart. And then it taught me how to turn the pieces into a microphone.
So it's about taking your pain and transforming it into something that can connect with others.
Exactly.
So what's the final takeaway? What does Pinkwart want us to remember?
He says, if you wait until you're ready, you'll never speak. And if you never speak, you're not a poet. You're dust. On stage. In the crowd, in life.
He's not messing around.
No, he's not. He's saying that if you don't take action, you're basically nothing.
You're just fading into the background.
Do you ever feel like that? Like you're waiting for the perfect moment to start something, but that moment never comes.
Oh, yeah, all the time. But I think what Pinkwart is trying to tell us is that there is no perfect moment.
It's just now.
And that even if you start before you feel ready, you'll learn and grow along the way.
The act of doing is what makes you a poet, in his sense of the word.
It's about expressing yourself, putting yourself out there, even if it's scary.
Have you ever noticed that sometimes the most casual remarks can actually have a really deep meaning?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's like sometimes people say things without realizing the weight those words carry.
Right, it's like Pinkwart's suppression technique in real life.
Okay, so to wrap up this deep dive, we've explored Stephen Pinkwart's pretty intense views on performance and connection.
We've talked about why waiting to feel ready might actually be holding us back.
And the power of being vulnerable even when it's uncomfortable.
And of course, his very unique suppression technique for creating an emotional impact.
So here's something to think about. Have you ever hesitated to do something because you didn't feel ready? What would have happened if you had just gone for it?
What if starting, even if it's messy, is the best way to prepare?
And how can you apply Pinkwart's ideas to your own life, to your communication, to your creative work?
How can you tap into those deeper emotions in a way that connects with others?
If you're interested in exploring these ideas further, Pinkwart's book is called Poetry Master Poesy Craft in 7 Tagen.
It's available in both German and English.
So go check it out, and don't be afraid to taste a little blood.
You might be surprised at how much you like it. Sei kreativ, Stefan.
And until next time, keep diving.